Good morning.
Good morning.
And you looking a bit fresher today, feeling a bit better?
Yes, I feel better.
Okay, so we're looking at this board. We're looking at 76.45% of results captured so far at this pace, at this rate that we're seeing at the moment. When are you expecting that we will have a final result?
To be realistic, the remainder of the results are results that are often tough. Well, there are exceptions to be investigated. There may be issues that, in the accounting and things that must be dealt with. We do expect that these are issues that need attention. The mere fact that they have not come early gives you an indication. And these are matters that need more detailed attention. I expect that we'll conclude either very late tonight or even early tomorrow.
Okay. Now, let's just get some clarity on this double voting issue. Earlier, our colleague Annika Larsen here on the floor spoke to one of your colleagues, Janet Love, who said, as far as she knew at that time, 12 people have been arrested in connection with allegations around double voting.
Yes.
Now, park that. The next one is that you've instituted some independent audit into some of those complaints and objections, especially the allegations around double voting. Now, firstly, are there 12 people that have been arrested for double voting or not?
There have been, in fact, that number, I spoke to the police, that number has been at 20. The police, the preliminary, and I don't want to interfere with the investigative job of the police, but the preliminary information is that in the 20, none of them has voted twice. And allegations were very specific about those 12. That's why they were arrested. None of them has. In fact, in that number, there are people who didn't even vote. Now, this is the heart of the matter. Hyperbole has been allowed to flare up. We have given the benefit of the doubt. We have followed every lead. Where evidence has not been proffered or these allegations have not been sustained, time has come for us to dismiss them.
Dr. Moepya, just to clarify, did these people, those 12, actually vote or double vote or not vote at all?
There's not a single one of the people that has been arrested for which evidence exists that they have voted twice.
So as we sit here now, there is no evidence that any of them double voted.
We don't have it. We have evidence that some have been caught attempting to do that. But that evidence exists.
Some of the 12 attempted to
20.
double vote. 20.
Yes.
Some of the 20 attempted to double vote, but yet no evidence that they actually did.
Yes, we don't have the evidence that any one of them has voted twice.
But I think, Mr. Tudi, the question will remain then about this ink and what allowed them to attempt to even try to get there again and make their mark. And I think those questions still, have you been able to get down to that detail of what made them think, how they got rid of that and tried again to go and get this done?
I appreciate that question because you would have followed us, that we've not denied any allegation that has been made. We have made the point that this is a chemical, the ink we use is a chemical, okay, whose ingredients are secret. Because if you know the ingredient, you're going to know what is the ingredient that makes it stay here, and you would know a counter ingredient that can remove it. But to the extent that you have fiddled with it with a view to defraud an election, there's another discussion we have to have. And once we've had that discussion, I think you belong to jail. And that really is the thing that we've been pursuing. I accept that the ink, there will be an ingredient that will remove it. I agree. I'm not saying it has happened in these elections. I'm saying to you that to say that you can never remove it cannot also be completely true. But to the extent that we say just because you removed it, an election has not been fair, let's be frank. It's far, far, far fetched. We have counted at least 9 measures that work in combination or individually to secure an election. Ink, it's a visible deterrent. There are many others.
And then the ID, the fact that, well, you know, that it wasn't picked up when those IDs were scanned again
Well,
for them to try.
well, there are other measures that can help deal with that. And I accept the smart card ID, we don't write to the smart card ID. But the ID book, we do stamp. And let's face it, we have to look at the scale of whether the fact that we don't write to the smart card ID, to what extent it would weaken an election or has done in this election. And that brings me to the issue you raised, the issue of an audit. Let's put that into perspective. An audit is not an election requirement. This institution has done it to assure you and the world that we have nothing to hide, and that the work we do, we will do and take the extra mile as we do, is to assure you of what we already know we have in place. That really is the whole purpose.
Now, in terms of that audit, with the DA was called for that full audit yesterday. Where are you now? Where are we with that audit? Is it done? Has it been finished by whoever you asked to do it?
It's underway. That audit is underway, and we are hoping that we'll be able to adduce, or give a result of that evidence to the parties to assure them of the process. But this is the important thing for me to say. You started off by saying 76% of the votes have come. I say to you and the rest of the country that 76% of the results are untainted.
The ones that are on the leaderboard, completely verified,
oh yes,
completely transparent and authentic.
That's the point. That's the point we've made from day one. We said no result will go onto that board if we are not happy with it. Now, honestly, we are narrowing down the problem. We're narrowing down the problem, and we are saying to you 76% of those results remain untainted. To the point that we get to results that are tainted, you will hear from us.
Thank you very much. Mosotho Moepya, Commissioner of the IEC, assuring the nation that the results so far that we've been giving you throughout the morning up to this stage are not tainted at all, and that there's no evidence to link to anybody trying to double vote during this election.